LPH are doing a video live right now. As I hit the live button, I'm like, oh shit. So this will probably be a very unwatched live show. I love what those guys do. Anyway, I've got two things that I want to fix. One is I want to fix this box because this glue's become dry. I picked this up today and it's in very good shape and all the contents inside are mint. It's still in the bag, which is cool. So I want to fix that. Use that just really with a paper glue stick. I'm not advertising any brands or anything, just a paper glue stick because we don't want any of the glue to leave any kind of spots. We don't want it to kind of soak in. We want to just use a nice paper glue stick that will glue it and hold it, and off we go. Looks like a giant chapstick. Second thing I want to fix is this knockoff figure that I received the other day. Let me just pull something off of here because I was doing some testing before I came on live. Okay, here we go. So this figure, when I received him, he seemed okay. He's a knockoff. He's got some pretty cool hands with these thumbs that actually open and close. I thought this is cool. He's not a Ken doll. He's a knockoff. But he had a pair of shorts on. And I wanted to wash him because he was filthy. I mean, just filthy. The bottom, everything was disgusting. Some kid really got used to him. So I was like, all right. So as I'm pulling the shorts off, I realized that the shorts were on. And inside the shorts, there was a rubber band holding this together. When I removed it and took off the rubber band, you can see the red mark. It's been there for years. This leg came off, and I was like, okay, all right. And I looked, and I said, oh, shit, this is all cracked. So how are we going to fix this? Well, the only way to really fix this, other than replace this body part, is repair this, is to come up with something that can reestablish this, this actual joint here. So what I'm going to do, I went out to the garage because I have a lot of shit in there. I keep a little of everything. And the idea was to fix this. I've done this for other figures before where it's like, oh, it's broken, can't fix it. You can. You need a washer and whatever's going to go into it. This is actually held in by pressure when I went in. And so I said, all right, no worries. If this part, this flat section, I can glue against the body. I'm sorry. This section I can glue against the body. Okay. And then this part, so it's flat on the back, you can see I can actually wrap around here and it'll have free movement. The only thing that sucks is it's okay, but it doesn't really put a lot of strength. So, all right, no worries. So I took out this trusty O-ring box that I think I picked up. I think it was on Amazon or Home Depot, I forget. And I picked out a smaller O-ring. And if I attach this smaller O-ring to the outside of this, this is really a pain in the ass to do on camera, I can tell you that, because I just did it 2 seconds before. Okay. Oh, no, not yet. Holy mother of God. Why is this becoming so tricky? Anyway, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take it off. So the idea is if I can put this over and around and glue this piece to the body wherever there's section, now I've got a leg that's in and it's not going to just come out. Yes, it will move. It's going to be a little bit tighter to move, so I have a choice. I can leave the O-ring off that I have here and give them a lot more better free movement, or I can put the O-ring on and make it a little bit tighter. In any case, I'd be able to remove the leg, and I can decide if I want to take the O-ring off later, because the only thing that's going to be glued to the body, if this comes off for me, is going to be this ring. And so when you're fixing old shit, you have to get creative. I mean, yeah, you could get a new body. I don't particularly go out searching for these figures, but he is a knockoff. He came with some knockoff G.I. Joe stuff, and I don't even think he's even marked, to be honest with you. Oh, he is marked. Oh, it actually says, this is Ken. This has to be Ken. This is Mattel right there. Looks like a Ken doll. I thought it was a Ken doll. I think it says Mattel. Yeah, it's Mattel. I think this is a Ken doll. Some kind of Ken doll, but regardless, we're going to fix it anyway. We're going to put him up in some military gear, some Joe shit, and off we go. All right, so let's get to work. So the first thing we're going to do is get this box repaired. So the trick to doing all this is if this paper, all right, and I'm just doing this trial and error, is pulled away from the cardboard. It has a little bit over here, but not so much here. And the idea will be to get this here. What's up, Abmac? How are you, brother? How are you? I'm surprised you're here. Dave and LPH are they do a lot of good lives on Saturday. And completely forgot about it when we started doing this. But I got this. Check this out, man. I've got this. I picked this up today off Marketplace for a guy about 20 minutes away. So the horse is new. This was his when he was a kid. The guy was 65 years old. Everything's still sealed. It's even got the stickers in it. Isn't that crazy? That's just crazy. So, all right. So what we want to do is we want to see if we can get this piece to here. Now, here's the fun part. Let's remove this first so we have a kind of level playing field here. The fun part is, how do I keep this together? How do I keep this together enough so it doesn't pull apart? Because remember, the reason it came apart is because the glue dried up. He didn't pull this apart. It got really thing. Oh, you found me at random? Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that, Anthony. I found you at random at the first Mego meet I went to back in the day. So I think for this, I'm going to put the horse back in, and I'll tell you why. Because the horse is giving the box some stability so it doesn't go down all the way. All right, so let's get started. Let's see if this works. We're going to find out. I've done this with other boxes. It's been successful. Let's see how this works here. I'm going to try this first because I'd like to see if we got any grab here. All right, here we go. See if we can lipstick this son of a bitch up. And where did I get this glue stick? You can get it at any craft store. I think this one, no joke. I think I bought this one at Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure it is. And it worked great. It worked great on other boxes. It was fantastic. Oops. It's a little bit difficult to do behind the camera. And so what are you doing this weekend, Mac? Anything good? Anything good? You grilling? You chilling? You going through the massive collection of figures that you have? Anthony is an old schooler from the old Mego Command, we'll call it, back in the day. And a little glue here too. And we used to talk, him and a bunch of us, Buck, I think was it Phil Nobile? There's a couple guys on there, and we used to talk for hours and hours at night. I mean, talk about old school shit, but it was on chat. But it wasn't the chat you have today for you youngsters. It was IRC or MIRC back in the day. All right, let's see if we can get this together without getting glue all over everything. That's the first trick. And the second trick is keeping it together in the right spot. Because I really don't want to put any clamps on it. I'm a little concerned about that because it'll possibly crush the box because you can't really put a lot on it. I could also do some double-sided tape. That's another option I could probably do. I want to see if I can get it with glue first. So probably what's going to happen is I'm going to be holding this for like forever, trying to get the glue to hold. I want that to be, we might have to do double-sided tape on this because this cardboard over time, some of the things you notice about these old boxes is that the paper just dries out. And I mean, it dries the fuck out. You know, well, I'm just working from home, Anthony, if that makes you feel any better. I'll be out in the yard, although it started to rain. It was a nice day today, and it started raining tonight. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Actually, let's take the horse out. It started raining. I'm like, oh, all I wanted to do was go out and get some shit done today. But I wound up taking a bunch of old stuff that I had. All right, let's try that. We'll give it some pressure. Taking some old stuff I had, like an old mattress out of the apartment, getting rid of that. Let's make sure this lines up. And the door that I replaced yesterday to the apartment that was busted. Did that and took Amanda to our activity, came home, decided to watch from the 70s. You ever see the movie Penitentiary? It's fucking hilarious. I don't know, man. As I get older, I'm starting to really appreciate more and more old films. I mean, it's a pretty funny story. You could tell, like, how, what's the right word, naive the filmmakers were and the way they made films. It wasn't like it is today, and so on. All right, so I don't want to put too much weight or pressure because I don't want this box to collapse as I do it. But this cardboard gets super, super dry over time. This is okay. It's definitely dried down here. And the guy told me, he said, this was mine from when I was a kid. He goes, I can't believe I never played with it. And I held on to it, which is cool, Now, one thing I could do in here is I could put some weight behind it on top of that seam I want to kind of give it a little bit of a push down with my hand on the inside. It's like being a proctologist. Putting this on the inside, trying to get that stuff to dry. I don't want to push too hard, but I love the box. The guy said to me, he gave me such a good price on it. I couldn't tell him no. And then when I got there, he gave me a better price on it. And I said to him, wow, this is great. I said, let me give you more money for it. It's worth more. I said, I'm not here to rip anybody off. He said, no, I just wanted to go to Good Home. He goes, I could get that for the box alone. I know. I said, yeah, you could actually get that for the box alone, especially because it's in good shape. But I didn't want to, my other cell phone will give it there's a little weight on there. But I didn't want to rip them off or anything. I'm not about that. I'm not about trying to be like the toy king or any of that shit. I brought that up so many times because there are people who do that. There's some really fucked up people that do that. And I don't know if I could slide that inside to help give it a little shape. I might. This is a round 2 box. I could put that in there so give it a little shape maybe. Okay, well, that's not too bad. I hope keep it stand. Ooh, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Is start wrinkling it. So let's looks like we're getting some tack down there. But I don't want to clip it or anything. I don't want to put a rubber band in it. I guess I could put some very low elasticity, put some rubber bands on that aren't putting too much on it because I don't want it to crush. I literally, we just ordered a Superman life-size cutout for our event. We do these movie events for our customers, and we're premiering Superman. So I ordered this thing. It was $50 plus $50 to ship. I think it came from the UK. And they protect it in a box, and then they put cardboard on both sides of the cutout, and then they taped it. But they pulled the tape so tight, they fucking tore the cardboard, and now Superman has a cut in it. I'm like, dude, this thing was $100. Send another one, So pissed off. I mean, they were trying to do the right thing, but yeah, it didn't quite work out as planned, I guess. All right, so we can get a little. So the idea is we want this to go down, we want this to dry, and we'll see how that goes. The other option is I could turn it the other way, but I'd like to have a little bit more pressure. Maybe I can find something a little bit not too heavy that can sit on there. Let's see what I can find. Floating around the toy room of solitude that might give it some nice little weight. Well, these don't weigh too much. I don't think these are going to help too much, but these are shelves from Dollar Tree. They are not enough weight. I need something with enough weight to hold it there without crushing it, which is the trick, and definitely not always easy. Let's try this. This will give us a little bit of weight. I think that'll give us just enough pressure as long as it doesn't fall down. And I'm hoping that Captain Action round 2 box I put inside is gonna take care of that. I think we'll get that going. So, all right. How's there 8 people here? You guys know David E on LPH are doing a video, right? They do a live. They do great lives at Open by Chance. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Now we're down to 3 people. Okay. Fucking awesome. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get this piece, this washer around this. And you see, it will hold for a bit, but it's rubber. And it'll hold enough, and I could put it on there and attach this, and the leg will move. I'm only going to be able to get enough glue here because of all the pieces that are broken. Now, I could put some additional plastic here, but I've done this before for some of the Durham figures, and it's worked out well. However, in the Durham figures, I used metal washers, but it was a different format for the leg. The other option is I could probably rig something up that puts a screw through here and drives in there, but I don't want to go to all that trouble. So what I want to do is I want to get this inside, like I said. I hope I got the right glue for this. And I'm going to put this additional washer on. So the idea is I can either squeeze this around because it's a little bit loose, or I can try and stretch that out, or I can just put this smaller washer, which hopefully, like I showed before, it'll hold it on. Now, that might give it a little bit of difficulty in movement. It might not move when we're done. It might rip the glue apart. But what I'd love to do is get this into place so I can at least hold it there. And we might have one more problem. I just realized. That might not be deep. Is that deep enough? I don't think that's going to be deep enough, so that might not work so well. Let's try this another way. Yeah, so okay, so now we've got connection. So what we might want to do is maybe not use this washer because it's too thick. Maybe, just maybe. So I've done this with Durham figures where I put a metal washer on and then push through, but I don't think, and this is a Ken doll, so I probably shouldn't be putting this much effort into it. But for me, it's just the opportunity to try and fix something, to see what the fuck's going on with it. So we could rebuild this with some plastic and fill that in. Or I could split it apart like a Lone Ranger figure, and then I could put a washer on the inside, attach a washer on the inside, or push this on the inside, then reattach the leg, and off we go. But yeah, I don't think I want to do that much effort for a Ken doll. Although Sanchez was telling me he doesn't think it was a Ken doll, and I'm pretty sure it does because the fucker says Mattel on it. So it's got to be a Ken doll. And I don't like Ken dolls. I really don't. But interesting. All right, so I may have to come up with something a little better. So I think what we're going to wind up doing here, okay, and more plastic comes off. So we're either going to throw this fucker in the trash. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to attach, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to attach a washer, a metal washer to the inside. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to put a metal washer on the inside. Then I'm going to pop this through. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to wind up using probably one of these O-rings here to give it the tension it needs to make that happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Anthony, do you fix figures at all or no? Or do you just rip them apart and get new ones? What do you do when you get broken figures? You do anything special with them? Anything like that? Yeah, we got to get a washer on the inside because you can see like this is just enough depth to get in there. And the other thing you can actually do is you can open this. You see how much space is on there? But the rubber's thick, so it's taking some of that space. So just curiously, yeah, that's pushing it out too far. We don't want it out that far. That's way too far, way too far. We don't want that much space. Some random Asian kid collects figures. That's a fucking great name. Yes, this is an action figure place. Yes, it is 100% an action figure place. There's like 300 videos on action figures and old toys and stuff. And if you want to, Anthony, should we give them the tour? Anybody who hasn't been here before, it's a little bit of a mess. So this is the walkway down to the Toy Room of Solitude. And this is some of the newer stuff, but you can see there's a lot of the older stuff, Aurora models, shit like that, G.I. Joe Tower. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on here. By the way, if you guys have Wendy's, you're in the United States, you need to get your ass to Wendy's, get your kids' meals, get your $5 kids' meal, get 3 action figures. So on, they're DC related. We got all kinds of shit going on in here. Let's take a quick tour. I don't know if my battery's gonna last, but we'll find out. We have to put the light on. Awesome. Well, it's nice to have you aboard. Some random Asian kid collects figures. That's a great name. I'm even wondering if you're even Asian. You might not even be Asian. It's kind of funny. We got all kinds of shit going on. Remco McDonald Land. There's a couple guys on here. I know Anthony McElveen's on here, Ab Mac, as we like to call him. And I've known him for, Jesus, Anthony, do you know it's been since 1997? You know that? It's fucking 28 years. 28 years. Yeah, a lot of big gyms and foreign big gyms, actually. So for those of you who collect big gym, these are Sipsa Kitaceros. These are the Bionic Man. They're Mexican. And these are the Invisible Man with the big gym and the big Jeff head. Very hard to get. These cars, these dune buggies, I fixed them all. Fighting Furies from Europe is the Western. Here's the glow-in-the-dark Ghost of Captain Kidd. I wish I could show you guys what they look like. I just don't seem to be able to do that on camera. Some of the ships. There is all kinds of 70s and 60s stuff. All kinds of goodness floating around here. But wait, there's more. It's like a never-ending Carson Cities. I got 3 of these friggin' things. These are all notes. When people send me stuff, and I don't send me anything. I don't want anybody to send me anything, but I have friends who send stuff or we trade, and I put all their notes up. It's nice to know you get friends in the world, you know. So we got a little everything. So welcome back, Cotter. These are from Italy. These are Atlantic. If you guys have never seen these, they're fantastic. Of course, Aurora's Karate Men, Mark's Animals. These are blow mold toys by Irwin, some Mego, our gang, some new Voltron figures. Love Flash Gordon, especially the Buster Crab version. What else we got? These are actually my original Dungeons and Dragons books when I was a kid. They're, oh Christ, what would they be? 44 years old now. These actually, it's really funny. And Anthony, I don't know if you ever saw these. These actually, some of these are, let's see if I can find them. My God, these are from clippings and shit, but these are actually, look at this. This is my old address in Fairhaven. These are, hope I don't lose it. I don't want to rip it. These are from, let's see. This one has a Marvel cover. Usually they're like a Dungeons and Dragons cover, but these are from, this is so hard to do one-handed. They're just old magazines that they used to put in the mail. And Lou is a billionaire Playboy philanthropist. Too funny, Sanchez. And yeah, these are from when I was a kid. These used to come in the mail. They're from like 1980, 1981, 1982. Some old figures, Fleetwood and so on. And some newer stuff, but mostly older stuff. Anthony, you remember all these? Fucking Dondi the Clown, Pippo the Clown, Vader Abraham. Anthony has more of these than I have, I think. My daughter loves Sesame Street. She's autistic, so we got a little bit of that. Some Hot Wheels and so on, Johnny Lightning. These are Planet of the Apes Mego knockoff figures. These are monster figures from the same company. This one actually comes out of Australia. It's a Tong 8.5-inch Venture Man. Anthony, you ever see this? More toys, carded, unpunched. That's a Sam Cobra ripoff. A few of these. Anthony, you probably have 10,000 more of these than I have, I'm sure. Oh, what is he doing over there? I have no idea why he's over there. This guy belongs over here. Little Steve Scout. We have some LJ and Mr. Action, some knockoff Joe figures from Europe, thanks to Mick Drago. I've got shit down here. I've got a whole nother room of just superhero shit. Middleman, Boy Scout. Anthony, do you remember these remote control cars? The Batmobile and the Superman car? So just so you know, I've been collecting these fuckers. I found the Black Widow car. I have them here. The Black Widow car, the Tiger car, the Starman, the Warrior Man. The only one I don't have right now is the Hulk, the Fantastic Four, and the Spider-Man car. I have all the rest of them, which is pretty cool because they're hard as a fuck to find. And sorry, there's a lot of vulgarity here. We're adults. If you're a child, be prepared. It says it's not for kids. These are old Topper Tiger tanks from the 60s and 70s. I think there's 6 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there's 7 of them here. So I fixed all 7 of them so they all work. They're fun. They're a lot of fun to work on. Some Steve Scout. Some Micronauts. Some Azrak Hamway Starfleet figures. Used to get these in Italy when I lived there as a kid. These are fun. If you never had these Metacoms, inside there's actually a Takara Combat Joe. It's a G.I. Joe inside there. It's supposed to look like an actor inside a rubber magazine. A little more Mego, some Mr. Action. Tons of Mr. Action. Love the vehicles from Mr. Action. I love them. Actually, Anthony, I'll show you this. It's pretty funny. You remember those cars? So, Anthony, there's 9 total cars. I have 6 of them. And let me tell you, the Warrior Man, the Starman, and the Black Widow were really hard to get. So, I searched for these for 40 years. I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know who made them. I just remember I went to the Smithsonian Museum when I was 10 years old. My father bought them for me, or my grandfather bought them for me, or my dad, I think, in the gift shop. I looked for these for 40 fucking years. I could never find them. Finally, I bumped into a website and somebody had them, and I went looking after them. And you could tell I liked them because I've got 3 of them. See this insanity, Anthony? It's a lot different, right, than when we used to collect. More Mr. Action. This is actually one from Germany. Same Mr. Action. The company's called Quell. Quell International. And Mick Drago actually helped me with that. Remember all these, Anthony? All the Empire vehicles and these, little those, some vans. Make sure that's good. Yep. These are it's no room for the McDonald's playset, so I just have the figures. I actually have 2 of them. Duke the dog and his headquarters. Sancho, that's my good friend. Brian Sanchez says it looks like me as a Muppet, so we call it Sancho after him. Got some Irwin amphibious vehicles. You ever see the red one, Anthony? I got this one about a month or two ago. The red one. You always had the yellow one, and the green one I thought was neat. I never knew there was a red one. I found it, and had to get that. Look at all these Mr. Action towers. I mean, I used to drool over trying to find these things. I couldn't find them. And this, I have to say this because so I had the Batcopter and I didn't have the box. And Troy Manis sent me this box. Just sent it to me out of the goodness of his heart. It fucking cost a fortune. He could have got so much money for this box. So we trade some stuff back and forth, and this was a really nice thing to do. And I love this box because it's got Batman, the Joker, it's got the Penguin, it's got Robin, some really neat artwork on here going on. I don't know who the guy is that's driving it. He's clearly not the dynamic duo. I don't know who that is, but this is a great copter. We've got the Spider-Man version. We got the Hulk version. Got the police version, and I got the Air Force version. And I don't think you ever saw this one. The Air Force version. That was a fun one to get. But yeah, so anyway, so this is a little tour of the Toy Room of Solitude for those of you who've never seen it before. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. These play sets are made by my friend David Gunn. Builds those together. He actually made a play set in my basement, which is insane. Now, there's a little bit of everything in here. A little bit. There's some things I like. I love the Dennis Fisher Doctor Who figures. I love Tomlin figures, these knockoffs. And I'll say it again, thank you to Ray Castile for pointing them out years and years and years ago. Got some $6 Million Man. There's my Fembot. That's my Lily Leedy $6 Million Man there, Anthony. Lily Leedy right there. He's different. He's got Mego legs. Believe it or not, he's got type 2 Mego legs. He only has one bionic. Then we've got these three. Every time I do this goddamn boot falls off, so I'm going to try and grab them like this. The Maskatron knockoff with the Cornelius face and the Mr. Action face. And then the John Saxon Maskatron face. We have the blue, the green. I finally was able to get what I think are all the colors at this point. These are these are Durham figures. If you've never seen these, there's tons and tons. Best card art, cheapest figures ever. But great card art from the 70s. You know, and there's shit all over the place. Anthony, I'll bet you remember these. The Castaway G.I. Joes. Do you remember those? With the flocked heads, the 8-inch ones? Action Team, sorry. That David Lee did. So Brent sold them to me a couple of years ago. Here's a nice knockoff. Knockoff. Fuzzy-headed, Kung Fu gripped Johnny Strong. Nice Joe ripoff figure. And here's some, for those of you guys who never knew Castaway Toys, probably like, what are those? That was a company that was in business. A couple of friends started that up back in the day. Like, more artwork. That came from Dr. Durant. If you've never been to Dr. Durant's Sanctum, that's where Charlie's artwork. But you can see, like, this is the basement. We got a couple other things here. Here's the New Bright Big Rex. I just mostly fixed this New Bright King Kong. He's got a couple things that need to get done. Nice little Bubba Dave Russell sent me that, Anthony. A couple other figures that came from David and LPH. Space Command. You remember this? Anthony, did you ever have this? You probably do. The Space Command Center from Sears. Do you have that? I just bought a fourth one. I couldn't take it. I love them. I obsess on them. My friend Brian Sanchez. He's here. The Sancharoni, the Sancho Mahini. Sent me O's. Lots of crazy shit in here. Lots of crazy shit. But, you know, to be honest, Anthony has way more figures than I have. I had a nice collection, then this basement got flooded. It looked more like a museum back in the day. There was glass cabinets everywhere, and that's all that was down here. And then I got flooded, so I sold everything, and then, or most of everything. And then, oh my God, what happened? Then I started collecting again about 5 years ago. So this is, I'm sorry, 6 years ago. This is the accumulation of 6 years, believe it or not. Yeah, that's it. Custom God, what's up, brother? Give Lou some love and hit that like button. I need all the love I can get. I'm a sad individual. You only do 8-inch stuff? So, Anthony, yeah, but Anthony, some of those play sets like the Sears Space Command Center and some of the other ones, like they would write on them like good for 8 to 12-inch action figures. Even the Irwin cars, they would say the same thing in those blow molds. What else did you get, you mook? Well, just this silver, this never before opened. Well, the box was open, but the I got this box that I'm repairing. I decided I'll repair it, Sanchez. We're doing the old glue stick thing that Danny told me to do. Beautiful, really nice Lone Ranger horse. Very few marks on it. Wasn't played with. The guy I bought it from, he said it was his from a kid. Everything's still sealed in the bag. It was never open. And the price was impossible to say no. It's even got the stickers. Now, I never saw the stickers before, but Danny said to me tonight, Danny Gates is a friend of ours in Australia, who we talk to pretty much daily. He said that he thinks only the Hubley version might have come with those stickers. This is the Hubley version, so that might be it. What else is going on? Did I miss anybody else's messages? Anthony, yes. It's nice having your own money. I agree with you. Some random Asian kid collects figures. SRAKC. I was trying to see if I can get like Strakov, get some kind of initial going for you. I've seen red, army green, pink, orange, and lime green on the dune buggies. Now I'm sorry, the dune buggies. I have the pink one, the green one. It's like red. I haven't seen an orange one. On the dune buggies, they even made the one that was specific for Action Jackson. It was the lime green one, and the box was coated almost like Mego, that red, white, and blue stuff for Action Jackson. But those are the Anthe cats, and if they had it, wow, that's really cool. I'll have to keep looking for them. I have to keep looking. You love the Empire stuff, yeah. So the Empire stuff's great. I have a bunch of it that's never been opened. I do, and sometimes like I got a loose one, and I got a box one, so I gave it away. Like I think I gave Sanchez I gave him the Chuck Wagon. It was loose. It wasn't complete, but had a lot of stuff. They're really cool. My friend Doug Schnitzbein, I'll tell the story forever. He's actually in our Facebook group. If you guys aren't in our Facebook group, feel free to go to our Facebook group, which is it's just MegoLike. We talk about everything. The name MegoLike has. We don't just talk about Mego, and honestly, we probably talk less about Mego than anybody now. But a long time ago, we used to have a website called MegoLike.com. Now it's, I think, some Chinese company has it, and they put up gambling and porn, so you don't want to go there. But if you go to MyMegoLike.com, there's over 200 pages of stuff like this and things people send in that are online for you to do reference and pictures and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, what else we got going on? Just take a look through the messages. I love that. Give Lou some love and hit that like button. That's awesome. Fucking love that. Let's see, it says, I'm actually Asian, Lou, if you were wondering. Well, I kind of guessed you were, but, I used to, so I'll tell you why. Anthony knows this. He's probably the only one on here right now that knows this. Let me say this while I'm reading through messages. So, 1997, 98, we started chatting off the Mego Museum, which we don't go there anymore. It's a haven for some not nice people. But we used to chat at night on MIRC, which was the internet was new back then for people at home, and it was still being discovered what you could do with it. And we used to chat, and my name on there was Black Joker. So the reason I said you might not even be Asian, and Anthony can tell you this, is that it was years, I think, that went on. I told everybody I was 6'8". That was like 300 pounds, 300 something pounds, and I was black. And just as a joke. And then when I went to Mego Meet, they asked me to go to Mego Meet to do a talk, and I went to Mego Meet, and I walked in, and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Lou Malagrana. And they're like, oh, we thought you were like 6'8", 300 pounds of black. And I'm like, no, it was just a joke. And I met Anthony there for the first time, which was really cool. It was nice. It was a really nice old picture of me and Anthony way back in the day that's floating around on the internet. Let me see. Custom God. I make some exceptions. Oh, there goes my low battery. I make some exceptions, but I mainly collect 8-inch stuff too. I prefer initially all the 8-inch stuff. All the knockoff figures and stuff, I love them. But then I kind of started getting a little Big Jim's a little bigger, and some of the knockoff stuff. Hopefully this battery will last. Then I had GI Joe as a kid. How can you say no? I can't collect all the GI Joe stuff. But I mean, look at the Fighting Furies up there. I mean, look at these guys, pirates on the ship. That ship is like 4 feet long or something. It's fucking fantastic. It's wonderful. Anthony, I got to show you this. Hang on a second. Let me show you this because I don't know if you've seen these. You may have not. But while I got you on, let me show you these. They're not 8-inch. They're only 6-inch. Go ahead, Sanchez, hit it. That's what she said. Let me show you what I got. These are from Italy, and these were part of a promotion for a company called Sole, or Sole Piatti, which in Italian means sun plate, or plates of the sun. And basically, they were a company that made laundry detergent, dish soap, just soaps. And so what they had, I think it was the early 80s, they had a promotion that if you bought like their detergents, they would put a figure in it. And thanks to Dennis Klinsky for putting these out, because he saw them on a group, and then I went on a rampage looking for them. I get a little excited. There we go, Sanchez. That's what she said. So let me show these to you. They came in 2 versions. There were 2 different bodies. The one's marked Fairland Toys. Fairland Toys made some knockoff Lone Ranger stuff and a whole bunch of like knockoff G.I. Joe stuff. So let me show these to you. I'm going to turn this around. All right, so I don't know if you've seen these, Anthony, but let me show them to you. So this is what they look like. They would be inside the laundry detergent. Now, back in those days, or attached to the outside, back in those days, the laundry detergent was powder. And I remember being a kid living in Italy. I was not born there, I was born here. But we moved there, and this would come out of the inside. And it was a big, round, it looked like a Lincoln log barrel. And it was full of laundry detergent. It was cardboard with a plastic top. This is the skinny body with the skinny head. And just for comparison, there, actually, you can see these better. See the fat head and the skinny head? So they had red. So they have Sole Piatti, which is sun plate. Then they had, these are the harder ones to find, this one. Sole Bucato, which is laundry. And then again, they came in these fat heads and the skinny heads, so there's 2 to collect. There was only 1 female, and she only came in 1 type, and she was Sole, I can't even see what she has, Sole something. Oh, Delicato, which is delicate sun. They have this one, Sole Blanco, in Italian, which is white sun. They have this one, Sole Gocce, which means sun drop. Gocce is drop in Italian. I still remember that, believe it or not. And which one am I missing? Oh, and this one. Is this the same? That's Gocce. Oh, here's the other one, Sole Blue. So this is just blue sun. And you could see they came with different, you can see ones are a little more faded. Some actually came in a different color blue. The reds were pretty much the same. There were 2 different colors of green. And these are pretty freaking cool. I love these things. You've heard of the soap figures? Okay, so that's cool. I figured you probably did. You've got more in touch with this. But look at this, Anthony. I couldn't find any. Now look, it's overrun. I even gave some away, like no joke. I gave some away. I think I sent one off to Danny and a couple other guys. But yeah, the soap figures, as we like to call them. And I love them because they're from Italy. Yes. Oh, this must be from Italy. It says Fragile. Just in case you get your leg lamp. I got to find a better way to display these. And again, all the figures, I believe, came in, except for the female, came in skinny heads and fat heads. But the back of them is marked Fairland Toy. I think it's the fat head actually says Fairland Toy. And Fairland did a lot of knockoff figures and so on. So that was pretty cool. Oh, you've never seen those soap figures before, Custom Gods? So yeah, so those they're from the early 80s. I know I'm gonna fucking sit here and do shameless plugs because nobody goes to the websites anymore. But if you go to MyMegoLike.com, on the left, if you do it on your phone, it's going to be all the way down at the bottom. There's a small bar, and you can search. Everything's in alphabetical order by company, so it'll say the number, the size, like 8-inch, 6-inch, 12-inch, whatever. And there's like 200 pages. So those you can find under, I think it says 6-inch. I think it says Sole Piatti. And then if you click the page, you can see everything. As a matter of fact, I had to search for this because I found a guy on Facebook from Italy that was talking about these figures, which I give him a lot of credit because that guy, I read through his stuff to find out more information on these. I didn't just all of a sudden discover them and become like, Indiana Jones of soap toys, but I read some stuff and he had a link for a commercial. The link was no good anymore. So somebody took it offline. I think it was on YouTube, but I found it. I found the link, and it's the commercial for that soap, and you can find it on that page. It's a YouTube commercial. It took me, Jesus, man, it took me like a month to find. I'm like, does this even exist anymore? I looked and looked and looked and looked. Finally found it in some obscure place, but it's a commercial of how the reason they have these figures is because they had superheroes. That they have real actors dressed in white, and they're diving into like, I don't know, they're diving into like the laundry and going through the machine, and then they fly out. So the idea was they were trying to show like, their products are superheroes and can clean anything at that point. Did you ever get the Fairland Articulate? Yes, I have it. I have it. I think my phone's gonna run out before we get there, but I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. I think you mean, hang on, Lone Ranger. Yeah, my battery's gonna run out soon. I apologize, guys. There's that one. In the box mint. But I bought that, Anthony, before when I was in my original collection. It was one thing just never sold. I don't know why. Maybe I forgot or whatever. I think that's the one you meet. I even have some. I have some very cool Lone Ranger stuff in here. So that's the Big Beauty horse from Sears. These are obviously Gabriel horses. This is from Germany. I've got that one. And this one I bought from Mick Drago. These are Action Mustangs. There's a Johnny West one, a horse, and so on. But yeah, that's something. You can see normally how these horses get yellow. You know that. They turn yellow, which sucks. There is a way you can do the peroxide with ultraviolet light, and it will re-whiten them. I watched so many videos where they do that. A couple things. There's one of my 2 McDonald Line play sets. I got one from a guy off the internet for like $100 or something, which was great, and it was complete. And then here's my 3rd Carson City playset. But yeah, that's in my laundry room. We have the Hall of Heroes upstairs with all kinds of superhero shit that's not here. Yeah, but that's kind of what we got going on. So if you like what you saw, feel free to comment. We'll see how this box comes out. I'm going to let it sit till tomorrow. I want to make sure that it dries. I want to make sure that it's good and that it holds. And then once it's done, it's just going to go to the shelf as a display piece. It's not like going to be going in and out of the box so much. But this is not like, we're not doing super glue. You start putting hey, what's up, Buck? Abmax here, by the way. You start putting any kind of liquid glue on it, it kind of fucks up the paper. So use a glue stick. Buck will tell you the same thing for that kind of stuff. What's going on, Buck? My phone's probably going to die. I apologize. Yeah. So Anthony, that Fairland horse, again, I got that years ago. That was from that's from my original collection. I sold all my shit, and when did I move into this house? 2025, was it 2007? And it was probably 2 years after that, I think. And I just, fuck this, I'm not doing this. I sold everything and I wound up buying like old cars, like real cars. But then I started getting the collecting bug again, Hey, Anthony, Buck is here. Here I come to save the day. That's awesome. All right, I'm just going through the message. Did you ever? Oh, there we go. I've never seen that. Just going through. Do you have Mego Rocky Balboa figures? So some random Asian kid collects figures. That's his name. I'm just throwing that out there. I did have the Rocky Balboa figures, but I don't collect any of the new Mego figures anymore. It's kind of a sore spot for me and actually some of the guys here. The old Mego, I love their stuff. I just don't collect so much anymore because when they rebuilt new Mego, stay out of the politics of it, but let's just say there's people that are working there or not really working there. They're volunteering and they're not treating people nicely. Their toys are breaking and they're not replacing them, or they tell them to stop crying. Well, you shouldn't have taken it out of the box. Okay, well, I bought something. If I take it out of the box, it breaks, and I shouldn't complain about that. I mean, like dumb shit like that. So if you enjoy them, enjoy them. Collect what you like, enjoy what you like. Don't let my opinion or anybody else influence that for you. But yeah, it's kind of a spot where, yeah, not too thrilled with them. So I don't. I would encourage you to look at the old vintage figures. I don't know how old you are. The fact that you say some random Asian kid, I'm guessing maybe in your 20s, I don't know, maybe younger, maybe older, I don't know. But I would encourage you to look at the older Mego figures. Like I have the old Mego Flash Gordon figures. I love them. I have the old Mego Our Gang or Little Rascals figures. I like those. I have the old Some of the old Mego Star Trek figures and some of the Planet of the Apes figures. I love those. Those I love. But it was a different company back then, and so on. Um, let's see, just looking around. Just read Sanchez. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody's message before this phone dies. It's a haven for sheep shackers. Jesus, Sanchez. I'm in the Facebook group, but rarely go to Facebook. Oh, yeah, I know you're in there, Custom God. I know you're in there. Yeah, I know you're in there. If you're not in the Facebook group, feel free to join. It's an open forum group. You can pretty much talk about anything. You can talk about comic books, movies, TV. The only thing we say is, like, if you're watching a new series or movies, just try to not put a spoiler up. Give it a little bit of time before you do it, because sometimes people get a little pissed off, if you will. But we encourage discussion. We like when people discuss. When somebody says, "Oh, this is a great figure," and somebody says, "Well, it's not so great because it breaks." Well, it doesn't break for me. You know, it's okay to have discussions and opposing opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. I think actually it should be encouraged. If you live in a world where everybody thinks the same, okay, Logan's Run, thanks, appreciate it. No, I mean, everybody should be able to talk about what they like and enjoy without being berated for it, except for Brian Sanchez. He's the only one who can't say anything. 2 + 2 = 5, Sanchez. And I make some. Okay, so you did this. I'm just going through. Look at these. Let's see. Just going through it. So, if you don't mind me asking, how many people here is everybody here from the U.S. that's on here right now? Are you guys all in the United States? I know Anthony is. I know Buck is. I know Sanchez is. I know Custom God is. Anybody from the UK or overseas? Anything like that? It's always interesting to meet people from other countries because their toy experiences are usually different. They had different toys. If you lived in Italy, your Mego figures were typically Baravelli. Not all of them, but some of them. I tell these stories all the time. When I lived in Italy, we didn't have Kenner Star Wars figures. We had Palitoy Star Wars figures, which pretty much the same thing, but the Palitoy Death Star makes the American Kenner Death Star. It's way better. I mean, it was made out of cardboard, unfortunately. However, it was way cooler. Way cooler. Who's in Hawaii? Oh, there goes my battery again. Okay. Vor Red. Yes, Vor Red. Somebody finally brought it up. You're from Uranus. Oh, you're from Uranus. Very nice. I thought so. All right, what else do we have here? I have some of the, let's see, I created, oh, yeah, the stacks and the crates. That's correct. Buck did do that. I actually have some up here. Can you show us some of the Rockies if you have them? I got rid of them. I got rid of anything that was new Mego. Some Asian kid, I got rid of them. Didn't want them anymore. Didn't want them in here. I have some of the Stacks figures I got from Dave Mack. Original Mego figures are made better than any of the new ones. I agree. They don't break like the other ones. Buck is from Uranus. That's true. You live in Hawaii. Fantastic. That's great. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go take a look since Buck's here. Let's go look at some of his awesome creations before this phone dies, because the phone's going to die soon. This is from Buck. That is a creature from the Black Lagoon. He calls it the swamp monster, but it's a creature from the Black Lagoon. There is a Mego body inside there. And then he did this one, which I almost died when I got this. The Sleeve Stack from Land of the Lost. I almost died. He hand makes these. Fucking unbelievable. He did a Godzilla figure. He's on here. No blushing, Buck. No blushing. He did a Godzilla figure. It's absolutely insane. There's a Mego inside of the suit. It's fucking unbelievable. It really is. Now, here's a Mego that I have. I have right here, this creature from the Black Lagoon. It is my favorite monster, Universal monster. Not particularly fond of the Mego figure, but what the fuck? Why not? I like Creature from the Black Lagoon, so I'll let that one slide. But anyway, that's kind of it. I'm actually running low on battery, and I apologize. Oh, you have the Rocky figures. You did a custom one. Okay. All right. Very cool. Yeah, Hawaii was nice. We went to visit when I was a kid, and my sister used to live there. Did she live in Maui or Oahu? I forget. But my sister lived out there for quite some time. She just packed up and left. I'm going to Hawaii. Okay, have fun. Damn, I asked my dad for the Mego Rocky, but he said no. By the way, I'm not an actual kid. I'm not trying. Wait, I am. Oh, you are an actual kid. Oh, you're not trying to use satire. Okay. Well, I wish I had known that before I started letting the F-bombs fly. I'm hoping you're old enough that you've heard some profanity before. We'll try and keep that we'll try and keep that low, but okay. So the figures that you're buying Mego before this battery dies are newer figures. They're not made very well, and if you go into our Facebook group, MegoLike, and join, anybody can join. Just come in and put in you want to join, and we'll let you in. I'm one of the admins, and there's a few there. They'll let you in. But you could see the discussions. There was a bunch of discussions going off that people bought the Batman figures that they remade. Just in the box, belts just snapping. It's a shame. So it's probably better to get the old ones. I'm a kid too, but I'm 59 years old. That's awesome, customer God. That is awesome. That is awesome. I've heard quite a lot of bad words. Okay, well, we'll try and keep it down when you come in the room. My goal here is not to burn anybody's ears, but usually it's a bunch of old guys that we're just talking about toys. So anyway, but yes, this is an action figure room. Go check out the Facebook group, MegoLike. There's plenty of people in there. They show all kinds of action figures. Guys customize. You might have your eyes open to some really cool stuff that goes on, things that you probably would not have known about, which is probably 3/4 of what I have in this basement. I would have never known existed if it wasn't for these guys. We also have MyMegoLike.com, 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 and that is just hundreds of pages, a couple hundred pages, I'm sorry, of action figures and stuff like that. And a lot of it's contributed by other people. I built it, but it's not me doing it by myself. It's because other people help. And so we build it as a community. Let's see. Oh, I'm good because of the curse. Well, I'll try and keep that down. All right, I'm going to get off here before the phone just dies. And it didn't exist. That's correct. And it didn't exist. We created it. That is 100% true, Buck. That's 100% true. Yep. We bought the domain, and then everybody just contributed and made it great to what it was. So let's get off this phone before it dies. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize to David Heon and LPH. I mean, they've got 12,000 plus people on there watching, and I apologize. I did not mean to overrun on your schedule. That's not my goal, not my kind of thing. Swear all you want. My parents don't care about that. So if you're still living at home, you're under 18. So, okay, so there's a lot of toys here I'm seeing that are cool stuff. We always find it fascinating when somebody who's younger, especially a kid, looks into toys, because that's not really their generational thing. It's video games and so on, and toys are kind of more our generation. We're us and probably the generation behind us are the last ones into action figures. That's why there's so many video games and stuff like that. All right, Custom God, I'm so glad thanks for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to end this. I'll make it publicly available as soon as YouTube uploads it, which takes forever. Sometimes it takes hours. It's crazy. But thank you guys for stopping by. Tomorrow I'll take some pictures and do a quick video on what this box looks like when it's done. I love Rocky, and I love a lot of other. So there's a lot of good figures out there, man. If you love Rocky, there's Megos for it. You can get those. I haven't seen too many breakages on those, and you can get them very inexpensively. Very inexpensively. They still sell them online. You don't have to go to eBay. You can find them probably on Amazon, to be honest with you, between the Rocky, Apollo Creed, and so on. But if you want the really good boxing figure, you want the original Mego Muhammad Ali, that's a really good one. That's a little bit bigger figure, and it's great. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and if you don't, that's okay. You're not hurting my feelings. Yes, and NECAs are very expensive. Yes, at $30 a pop, they're very expensive. So look around. You can find a lot of people unloading used figures that are in great condition for a lot cheaper, or bought the figures, like the Mego figures, and they're unloading them. I was giving them away. I'd sold them for some of them for $5 a piece after I paid 15 or 20. And I remember I got the point I was just giving them away. I wanted them out of the house. I couldn't deal. So, all right. Thanks again. Everybody have a good evening. Enjoy Memorial Day. I'm sure I'll have more videos to come. Peace.